Then section B, question 2, 2.1, we are simplifying. Simplify 2.1.1, the cube root of 125 minus the square root of a quarter. Now grade 8, I know most of us, we run to use calculators in this instance. So we are going to use a calculator and get the cube root of 125, that is 5, and get the square root of a quarter, which is 1 over 2. But doing this without a calculator, it is not really that difficult. Let me show you how you can do this without a calculator. We're going to have our cube root of 125. Since the last number is 5, we can just use the base 5 to change the 125 to the exponential form. So we are going to use the base 5. Then we ask ourselves, which exponent do we raise 5 to get 125? So 125 is basically 5 to the exponent 3. So this 5 to the exponent 3 is basically 125. Then subtract square root of 1 over 2, 1 over 4, I mean square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2. So out of the square root sign, 1 over 4 is going to be what? It's going to be 1 over 2. And then continue with your, how do you simplify this? Basically, this cube root and this the exponent here, they're going to cancel, and the root is going to be to vanish away. So you can just say here, basically it's going to be what? 5 to the exponent. You can take the exponent here and divide it by the root outside there. So that is going to be 3 over 3, which is 1, and minus 1 over 2. Minus 1 over 2. So it's 5 minus 1 over 2, and you get your answer of 1. 5 minus 1 over 2 is going to be 4.5. So that is 4, 1 over 2. But nonetheless, you can just use a calculator to get the answer there. So that's how you do that. Then the next question. Here we are adding and dividing, subtracting fractions. So you can work them as they are here. Work with the first two here, 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. You can work them separately. How do you do that? Let me rewrite this. So we're going to have 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. This is divided by 1 over 3 minus 1 over 4. And that was put in brackets. You can also do the same here. Put this in brackets so that you work inside this bracket. So inside this bracket, we've got denominators 2 and 4. So you can get the lowest common, the LCD, the lowest common denominator between 2 and 4. This one is easy. The lowest common denominator is 4, because 4 is divisible into 4 and 2 is also divisible into 4. We can just list the multiples and get the lowest common denominator. So in this case, we're going to say our LCD is 4, and we're going to put that as our denominator. Then we go on and say from half, 1 over 2, we say the denominator 2 goes into 4 many times. It goes 2 times, multiplied by numerator, which is 1, and that is going to give us 2. And come back and say 4 into 4 goes once, multiplied by the numerator of a quarter, which is 1, and you've got a plus sign, so that is plus 1. Then divided by, you do the same thing here. The LCD between 4 and 3, if you just multiply 4 and 3 here, you get 12. Then you'll be asking me, why do I multiply 4 and 3? Okay, you can list the multiples of 4, the multiples of 3, then you're going to get 12 as the LCD here. In this case, as we did in the previous questions, where you do the LCD and the highest common factor. Now you say 3 into 12, how many times it goes? How many times it goes? 4 times. So you say 4 multiplied by the numerator of 3, which is 1. That is going to be 4 times 1, which is 4. And then 4 into 12, you remember there's a minus sign. 4 into 12, it goes how many times? It goes 3 times. Then you multiply by the numerator of a quarter there, which is 1. Then that is going to be 3. And that's what you have inside those brackets. Then we go on and move to the other side there. So we've got 2 plus 1 over 4. 2 plus 1 is 3 over 4 divided by 4 minus 3, which is 1 over 12. So that is divided by 1 over 12. You can just leave out the brackets there. And what I'll advise you here to do, grade 8, you first write the your first fraction, then you change the division sign here into multiplication sign. So you change the division sign, you write your multiplication sign, then you flip the fraction that you are dividing with, which is 12, 1 over 12, then that is going to be 12 over 1. That is going to be 12 over 1. And furthermore, how do you do this? You say 4 into 12 goes once, into 12 it goes 3 times. Then you've got 3 into 12 goes, okay, fine. 1 and 3 here will just be 3 over 1. Then you're going to be left with what? 3 times 3. And our answer here is going to be what? That is going to be 9. And 3 times 3 is going to be 9. So that is our final answer there. Then answering question 2.1.3. You see now I've got this tendency of not writing the numbers, but anyway I was following these numbers from the given number system on the question paper. So this one, it doesn't have space, so I'm going to write the number here and continue with 2.1.3. so how do we do this? Negative 5 minus negative 8 minus 7 minus positive 2. So in this case we're just working with signs. So we're going to write our first one here, negative 5. It's negative 5, it doesn't change. The sign after negative 5, that is between negative 5 and 8, is going to multiply into the brackets of negative 8, and negative times negative is positive, so we're going to have a positive 8 there. And also the sign between the bracket of minus 8 and minus 7 is going to multiply into the bracket of minus 7, and that is going to give us a positive 7. And then the next one is a positive multiplied by negative. What is positive 2 multiplied by negative? That is going to give us negative 2. So basically that's what happens there. So from there, how you do this, it's totally up to you. You can just use a calculator. You can group the first two numbers together and group the next two numbers together there. So in the first two numbers, we have got minus 5 plus 8, which gives us 3, then plus 7 minus 2, which is 5, and our answer is 8. And that's how you can quickly do that. I hope you do understand that. Now moving on to question 3. It says write this number in scientific notation, that is 3,540,000 into scientific notation. Grade 8, as I'm always saying, there's always a comma after every number that you're writing. After every number that you're writing, there's always a comma. So I'm going to rewrite this number 3,540,000. 3.54 million. Now, after this number that I've just written, there's a comma. There's a comma after this number. So what you're going to do here, you're going to start from the end of the number where the 0 is here. So you see here, I'm putting a red comma here. Take that as a comma there. So from there, we're going to count from where the comma is. Then we're going to count skipping each number. So going backwards. So from the last 0, we're going to say 1 to the between the two zeros, then 3, 4, 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I skipped 6 times to have this comma to be between 5 and 3. Remember, your comma should be between the first and the second number, or after the first number, right? So that you can write your answer as what? As your 3, comma, then you look at the numbers after 3, that is 4 and 5. So you're going to say 5 and 4, then multiplied by 10. Scientific notation, you always multiply that by 10. Then you count how many times did you skip when you're counting the zeros. We counted 6 times. So that is going to be 0.54 times 10 to the power 6. I hope you do understand that. If you don't, please rewatch this video again and again until you make sure that you do understand it. Nice. So moving on to question 3.2. A mix of peanuts and raisins contains 5 peanuts for every 2 raisins. 5 peanuts for every 2 raisins. So for 5 peanuts for every 2. raisins. The first question says, write down the ratio of peanuts to raisins. As you can see, I've written 5 on top of peanuts and 2 on top of raisins. So the ratio, remember, how do we write the ratio? We're going to write our ratio as the first number here, then you put a colon, then you put your second number. That's how you write the ratio, because here we've got only 2 objects, peanuts and raisins. So that is 5 is to 2. Simple as that. Question 3.2.2. If the total number of peanuts and raisins in the mix is 84. Now they're telling us how many peanuts and raisins are there in the mix. Calculate the number of peanuts and the number of raisins in the mix. You should make sure that you understand what the examiner is asking you to do. You're here to calculate how many peanuts are there and how many raisins are there. If the total number of them altogether is 84, right? So our ratio here is going to help us. We've got the ratio of 5 is to 2. So what you do first here, you add your ratios. So you're going to have your 5, you add to 2, then you get 7. That is our total. So why do we do that? Let me show you how. Why do we do that? The total of our ratio is 7. So we've got 5 over the total of 7 and 2 over the total of 7. So we've got 5 number of peanuts over the total of 7, which is the total. And also we do have those raisins. Now what you do here to calculate the number of peanuts, you're going to say 5, which is the reason why we had to add the ratios. 5 over the total of the ratio, which is 7. Remember, 5 was what the number of peanuts, right? Multiplied by the total, which is 84. And you use a calculator there, then it gives the answer of 60 peanuts, because that is 60 for peanuts. I hope you get that. And that's how you do the peanuts. Let us go on and do the raisins. We do the very same thing, but remember, in the mix we've got what? For every 5 peanuts we've got 2 raisins. So you're going to have 2 over the total of your ratio, which is 7, multiplied by the total of the peanuts and raisins, which is 84. Then you use a calculator there, then you get what? 24 raisins. Then if you want to be sure that your answers are correct, you can just take the number of raisins, add to the number of peanuts, then make sure that you get the total in the mix. So that is 60 plus 24, that gives us 84. So we are so sure that we are correct. Now question 3.3 says a car travels a distance of 300 kilometers at an average speed of 65 kilometers per hour. Now we are given here the distance of 300 kilometers and we are given the speed of 65 kilometers per hour. The question says, how long does it take the car to cover the distance? How long is a question of time? So we are asked to calculate the time that it takes to cover that distance at that particular speed. Now we have the formula that we use here to calculate this. The formula is speed equals distance over time. That is how this formula is written. But in this case, we are questioned to calculate the time. So it means we have to make t the subject of the formula in this case. So how do you do that? You see where t is. See, t is at the denominator. So for you to make t the subject of the formula and we have got s on the other side, you can just swap places of t and s. Let me show you how. So where there is s, you're going to put your t, then that is equals your distance, and where there's t, you're going to put your s. You can only do that if you have got like how it is written, s is equal to d over t, where t is as the denominator and where is as the subject there. So you just swap the subject and what is in the denominator. Hence I've got now t equals to d over s. And let's say if you were asked to calculate the distance, then you just multiply as in t. I believe that teachers do teach you how to make each of the subjects of these formulas. Now, other than that, we have got a triangle that we normally use. So you can draw yourself a triangle there and put a line inside the triangle and another line there, and then put your S here, your T here, and put your distance there. Then you can just say here is multiplication and there is division. You put your division there. So what you do here is that you cover S. So when you cover S, you can see that you're only going to see what D and T, and D is on top of the line, that is division line. So that is D over time. Speed is equal to distance over time. So let's say you're calculating what? T. So when you calculate T, you cover T. So you're going to cover T, and then you're going to see only what? Distance, which is over the speed. Or when you calculating the distance, you cover D, and you're only going to see what? S and T, and what is in between them? Multiplication. So that's how you can make each one of them the subject of the formula. Now we are given the data there that we need to put in here as the distance, that is 300. So we're going to substitute D as your 300 kilometers divided by your speed, which is 65 kilometers per hour. So in this case, you can just quickly use a calculator. 300 divided by 65, then we get the value of 4,61, but it's going to be 62 if you round it off to 2 decimal places. The number after 1 is 5, and remember 5 and above, you add 1 to the previous number. So hence I've got 4,62 hours in this case. So that's how you're going to write that. Because your kilometers and kilometers are going to cancel, then you're going to have only hours there. But now, what if the question said give your answer in hours and minutes? Give your answer in hours and minutes, because here I've just written 4,62 hours. So if you're asked to give your questions in hours and minutes, yes, you're going to have 4 whole hours, as you can see here, but we've got some minutes here, or 0,62 hours. So what do you do here? You take your 0,62, you multiply it by 60, that is converting these hours to minutes. So you multiply that by 60, and you're going to get the value of 3,7 if we round it off. So that is going to be 4 hours 37 minutes. How did I get 37? You take your 0,62, you multiply it by 60. So, and that's how you do that. Nice. Now moving on to question 4. Question 4 says, Mr. Cage saves money for his intended relocation to Britain. He keeps himself updated with the exchange rate by watching the daily business news on TV. On a particular day, the rand against pound exchange is or was $1 is 18 rand 40 cents. How many pounds will he get in exchange for his savings of 500,000? So in this case, it means we must convert rands to pounds. Now we are given the rate that $1 is equals 18 rands 40 cents. So how do you do that? I'll use this approach. I'll put what is given here. So that is 1 pound equals how much? 1840. 18,40. Now I'm looking for what? I'm looking for pounds, or I must convert to pounds. So I put a comma because I don't know how many pounds are there. Then I put the value of 500,000 under the rents here, because that is also rent. So that is going to be 500,000 500,000. Now for this, where I put a question mark here, because I don't know how much are the pounds, I can just change the 2 to be an x. So in this case, what I can do is just to cross multiply. So I'm going to cross multiply here. X is going to multiply 1840, and then 1 is going to multiply 500,000. So I'm going to have you're going to have your 500,000 after multiplying by 1 equals to let's say 18,40 x, because you're going to multiply that by x. Then because we're looking for x, in this case we're going to multiply both sides by 18,40 so that we get only the value of x. So you do that on both sides. So this is going to cancel, 840 and 840 are going to cancel, therefore your x is going to be equals to you can use a calculator there, then you're going to get the value of 27173, comma, we rounded off 291. So that's how you basically do it. Yes, it wasn't really that easy, but yeah, that's how you do that question. So question 4.2 says a pair of jeans priced at 550 rands is put on on sale for 25% discount. How much is the new price? How much is the new price? So your question 4.2 here, I see that it's a norm for me not to write the numbers, but anyway, when I'm following the question from what is given, the number that is given here, I may not write the number, but here we're answering question 4.2. So how do you do that? The new price here, we're going to say new price equals, there are two ways of doing this. Since the discount is 25% and 550 is 100% of the price, and then we take out, or we take away 25%, how many percentage is left, or how much percentage is left? We are left with only 75%. So the new price or these jeans will be worth only 75% of the amount. I hope you understand it. Because discounted means we take out a particular amount, and how much is that? 25%. So if we take 25% out of 100%, how much is left? 100 subtract 25, and that is 75. So you can do it that way. So you can only go and calculate 75% of your original price. So that is 550 multiplied by, remember, every percent as you see it here, you have to divide it by 100. So that is going to be 75 divided by 100. Then you go on and use a calculator, then you get the value of what, and it is in rands because we're using money here. That is going to be 412,5, then put 5, put a 0 here, because you must always have two decimal places after a comma if you are working with money. And that's how you basically do that grade 8. I hope you do understand that. It is not really that difficult, but if you can work on practice, watch this video time and time again, and you're going to get the gist of this. Mathematics, it's one subject that if you don't practice it, then it goes away. It leaves your mind. So what you need to do here is to always make sure that you practice. Don't just watch the video and say I understand, say that you understand. Please watch this video and practice these questions all by yourself. Then that's gonna make things easy for you. If you practice, then if you don't understand, that's when you can come back and watch the video and make sure that you understand everything. So now we're going to go on to question 4.3. Question 4.3 says what? Miss, is it Tate or Tate? However that is pronounced, saves a lump sum of 50,000 for her daughter, for her daughter's university fees. If her money is invested for 5 years on simple interest option of 5% per annum, how much payout will she receive at the end of 5 years? Here we are told that the investment here uses the simple interest as an option. So you should be able to write to know you by now you should be knowing the formula that we use for simple interest. So the formula for simple interest, that is question 4.3. The formula is A into P1 plus IN. That is the formula that we use. So the principal amount here, we are calculating the accumulated amount, that is A, the amount that is going to be in the money after a particular period, which is 5 years in this case. So the principal amount, which is the lump sum that she is investing, that is 50,000. She's investing 50,000 into 1 plus. Remember also the interest here is given in percentage, then you divide that by 100. So you're going to have your 5% divided by 100 multiplied by the number of years of this investment, which is 5 years, of course. So make sure that you understand, you read, and make sure that you get all this information correct. So from there you can go on and use a calculator. Then we get the value of, you should always give that in your currency in rands, and that is going to be 62,500, sorry. So that's how you do the simple interest. Then question 4.4, it says the first 4 terms of a number pattern is 2, 7, 12, and 17. So here we are given the 4 first terms. Question 4.4, let's rewrite the pattern, that is 2, 7, 12, 17, and so forth. Now the first question says, find the next 3 terms of the pattern. Grade 8, you must be able to see what is happening to terms so that you can move on and get next terms. Now look at this one. We have got the first term, which is 2, and we've got 7, we've got 12. So what you can do here, you can do the differences, subtract these terms. So say 7 minus 2, so you get how much? That is 5. And 12 minus 7, that is also 5. 17 minus 2, that is also 5. Now this 5 here, it is your common difference, which is called D, as you were taught. So that is our common difference there. Now what you do here, you can see that for every term that follows, 5 is added. So we've got 2 plus 5 it gives us 7. We've got 7 plus 5 gives us 12. We've got 12 plus 5 gives us 17. So it means we must also add 5 here to get to the next term. So we're going to have 17 plus 5, and that is going to give us what? 22. Then we're going to add 5 also to 22. Add 5 all through. Then we're going to get the next term as 27. Then we add also 5 here to 27, and that gives us the value of 32. And that's how you write the next 3 terms. I hope you do understand that, grade 8. So that is 4.4.1 answering that. Then going to the next question, 4.4.2. It says find the general term. The general term of the pattern in the form Tn in the form Tn. Now this difference is the one that is going to help us to find the general term. So remember, your first term we call it T1, that is the first term we call it T1. So in this case our T1 is 2. Your first term T1 is equals to 2. And how do you get these 2? If I can tell you that if you can go back now, starting from 7, going back to 2, what are you going to do to get 2? If you've got 7 and you want to get 2, you subtract 5. Do we agree? We should agree on that one. So what you do here, 5 is the difference. So you say 5 here, we want to get 2 as the term as the first term. So you're going to say 5 multiplied by n, which is the first term, which is 1. So 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. So we've got 5 now. So how do we get 2 if you have got 5? You have to subtract something. How much do you subtract from 5 to get 2? You obviously subtract 3. So you can see that we subtract 3 from 5 to get 2. That's how we do that. Now let us get that second term, term 2. Second term means your T2 here, it means your second term. So in this case our second term is 7, and we say that 5 multiplied by that 2 of the second term. So 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. So now we've got 10, but we want what? 7. So how do we get 10 from, how do we get 7 from 10? We have to subtract 3. So you can see here that the drill is that we always subtract 3. Even if you continue calculating term 3, our term 3 is 12. So we have got 5 as our difference. We multiply that 5 by the common difference, the term number, which is term number 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. How much do you subtract from 15 to get 12? Obviously that is going to be 3. So you can see that for every Tn here, for every term number here, you're always having what? 5 multiplied by the term number, and then from there you subtract 3. So our Tn is going to be, you will always have got 5 multiplied by term number. In this case our n is a term number, so instead of those numbers you just put n, then you only subtract 3, and that is going to be your general term. And that's how you do your general term. I hope you do understand that. It's better if you practice this time and time again with different patterns, so that you get to be able to do any question that is given to you. I hope you understand that. Now the last question, for question 4, it says use your formula in 4.4.2 to find term number 11, the 11th term of the pattern. Grade 8, that is very easy. So we have got our formula, which is Tn is equals to, your Tn is the very same formula that we have there, that is 5n minus 3. So we're going to go on and use this formula, but our n in this case, because they are looking for the 11th term, it means your n is going to be 11. So you're going to say T11 is going to be equals to 5, your n is 11, then you substitute 11 here for n, then you subtract 3, therefore you use your calculator to get your answer. Then your answer is going to be 5 times 11, that is 55, minus 3, that is going to be 52. And that's how you do that question. I hope you do understand that. Grade 8.
Unlock your academic potential with expert tutoring from New Dynasty Academy. Are you looking to excel in your studies and achieve top grades? Whether you're struggling to grasp complex concepts or aiming to stay ahead of the curve, our expert tutoring services are here to help you succeed. We specialize in a wide range of subjects. Do not wait. Contact us today to start your towards success.